Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh. So all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem in the name, Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the whole elect, preaching His word in truth and sincerity. And the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona Camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. And yeah, man, I just wanted to flow in the spirit on this one. As you see, more and more Esau is getting shaken up by what the Lord is doing in the earth. And as prophecy goes, the Lord is, like it says in the Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, get that to start with. Jeremiah 10:1, it says, "Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus say Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." And really, more chariot sightings, everything, people look into the skies. That's and the reason why these government officials are so hot and heavy about it is what they know as drones. Some of this stuff is drones, man, but there's a lot more that they see on a daily basis, right? Because the scriptures tell you the Lord was going to, let me get this, man. This is, Zechariah 5, and I'll start at 1. It says, "Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." And that roll it's talking about is the chariots of the Lord. So a lot of these UFO sightings, everything that's supposed to be happening, right? Some of this might be, just be, how do you say it, drones, from foreign players, but a good amount of it, and the reason why, just in the spirit, why I believe all these politicians are really shucking up about it is because not only are they seeing the chariots of the Lord really above their house, they're seeing foreign players, so they're just afraid on every single thing in the sky, because they know, and they've been peeped, and they've seen these chariots, man. The Lord reveals Himself all the time, man. So they see that there's things that this American military can't fight. Then they sit here and see, I mean, these might be chariots that were over these houses and things, what they got video of. They might be drones. But if they're drones and they're like, okay, well, they're not shooting these things down, they're not stopping this, we definitely got the technology to stop these things. If they're just drones, then there's a different ball game. Then it's like, okay, well, if they can't shoot them down, are these those so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of the Lord that we've seen just evade artillery fire from large rifles and everything like that? Are these those? Are these the same ones that go over military bases and play with nuclear weapons and turn them off and turn them on? They're terrified. Esau is fucking terrified, man. It says, "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 10 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth over the face of the whole earth. And every one that stealeth shall be cut off as on that side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And I will bring it forth, say Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief." And that's where it's at. The chariots are really coming into Babylon, scaring the shit out of these people, and it's entering into the house of the thief. And America is the most thieving ass nation in the world, because this is the chief place of Esau, Edom, man. This is where he was able to sit here and really get the full control over the earth by stealing, robbing, killing, raping, right? Just plundering entire lands and committing genocide and bombing everybody to hell. This is where that really got down at. So the world's looking at this and they're like, you know, especially these government officials, people here, they're looking at it like, damn, we have all these reports of nothing being done. Because a lot of these meetings on this stuff, we don't get to see because it'll happen at times we don't know. It'll be unannounced. Some of it just doesn't catch wind, right? So they might have multiple congressional meetings and you know, hearings on certain things and debriefings and all that stuff that we don't get to see. But these devils are constantly talking about what's in the skies, and they're going to come to find out and realize that it's the Most High's angels in those chariots that's written in the scriptures, right? And they're entering into the house of the thief, right? It says, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and does not the entire American justice system cause you to what? Swear on the Bible? And these devils always be lying. It says, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stone thereof, because these chariots are going to be issuing forth, you know, laser beams, light, and burning this place up, man. It says it in the book of Ezra. Let's get that. And they even show that on that movie, War of the Worlds, I believe it is. This is 2nd Ezra 13. And I got to start up on this, man. I'm probably just going to get out all off this. It says, and lo, there rose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And who's that man? It's Yahweh Shai. So like it. No, I'll spell this one. This is Isaiah 63 and 1. It says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in apparel, in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I to speak in righteousness, mighty to save. And who was that was coming from Edom with dyed garments? Yahweh Shai. Ties right into Revelation, man. Of him that treadeth the wine fat alone, right? Why was he traveling in the greatness of his strength? Because he brought all the chariots of the Lord, all the army, right? When you go into, I think it's in Psalms, man. Let me get it. It says, Psalm 68 and 17, it says, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Yahweh is among them as in Sinai in the holy people. So the chariots of the Lord are numerous, man. We don't know exactly how many, but the Lord has an army, and he's going to come waxing strong, right? Like it says in 2nd Ezra 13 and 3. It says that I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. When he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him, and these people are terrified. They know that whatever's in the skies isn't for them, man. There's this one right here. Let me play this.
You're telling me our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity over that part of New Jersey. We do not attribute that to an individual or a group yet. We're investigating, but
Why can't they attribute it to an individual or a group? These devils will sit here and find a nigga just by looking in through a telescope in orbit. They'll find Bin Laden in a fucking hole in the middle of nowhere, but they can't figure out who these things are for. It might just be because those are the chariots of the Lord, man.
And Broomall in Delaware County, Philadelphia's Mayfair section, and in Cherry Hill, Camden County. New Jersey State Police were surveying the drones in Lebanon, Hunterdon County on Saturday night. No one seems to be able to figure out if the drone incidents are connected, who is flying them, or why. The FBI is involved in the investigation.
Now extending to Brooklyn, believed to be drones, but nobody.
That we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from.
These objects in the sky.
And the cool part about it is, I can't find a part, man, but when you watch this entire video, it tells you on here that they said they feel like they're ominous in nature. Right? Right? Meaning like they feel like it's a great destroying thing, man. Why did that? So when it said right here in 2 Corinthians 13, it says all things trembled that were seen under him. Right? So when the Lord really pulls out these chariots, everything is going to sit here and these people are going to be terrified, man. Men's hearts fell in them for fear. Right? Verse 4 says, whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it filleth the fire. So when these chariots really start to hit and they start doing their thing, they're really going to send out fire. They're going to melt these elements, man. Just like in that movie, War of the Worlds. These are just artist renditions of what they see in the scriptures, right? But really, this is going to be far exceed whatever they had in those movies, man. We about to see some real things, man. The Lord is going to get down. It says, verse 5, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number, right? Going into when the Lord gets ready to fight within this World War III, this is what's going to happen. It says, from the four winds of the heaven, meaning from all these nations, to subdue the man that came out of the sea, talking about Yahushua. And I beheld, and lo, he graded himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And that great mountain, right, it's talking about that fathership, that ship above all the rest. The one that's larger than all the rest, man. Right? It says, but I would have seen the region or the place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, it says, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Because all those armies, man, when they see the Lord coming, and they see that chariot in the sky, they put it in all their movies, right? Like that President Richard Nixon, was it Richard Nixon or was it Nixon? No, it wasn't. I think it was Nixon that sat there and said, if we all had an enemy that came from outer space, how quickly will we all come together? They are going to come together to fight against the Lord. They're going to be terrified, and the Lord is still going to put it in them to fight. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests that's going into them laser beams to melt this place. Just like we read in Zechariah, right? That it was gonna, scorch. Let's get that one of Zechariah again. That was it Zephaniah or Zechariah? Let me see. This takes a minute with that one. This is where we at? That's definitely not no. Not that one. Zechariah, there we go. 5. Right here, Zechariah 5 and 4 says, I will bring it forth, say Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, right? And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stone thereof. The consuming of the timber and the stone is talking about that fire that these chariots are going to shoot out. They're going to be burning this bitch up along with the missiles, right? And it says, but I saw, verse 9 again, it says 2 Ezra 13 and 9, it says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, man. So all that concentrated heat just spinning around itself, it's basically the laser beam. It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, man, all coming together. Imagine the sound that's gonna come off, you know, these chariots shooting out, you know, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the tempest. Imagine the sound, bro. That alone is gonna cause awe. It says, and I fell. It says, and fell with violence upon the multitude that was prepared to fight, and burnt them up, every one, so that upon a sudden, an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, because it's going to eviscerate this place. It's going to eviscerate these devil's armies. The Lord is going to get down. But that's why these heathen are so fucking terrified, man, because they see and they've heard all the reports of these things that flying through the sky, evading military action in every single country. Nobody has anything to touch them. And they know if they can't stop a Russian intercontinental ballistic missile, they damn sure can't stop, right, the chariots of the Lord. So they're terrified. They want answers. They want a fucking plan on the board, and there's no plan. You ain't got no plan to fight against the Lord. There's no plan in man that's going to work to fight against the Lord. Right? We get a good thumbnail for us.
We were swarmed ourselves last night by Action News viewers sending videos of drone sighting.
10 the threats to Homeland Security.
Get a good thumbnail off of that. But, you know, Lord willing, is just edifying. I'm going to say, call Allah, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Shem Kakada Shalom.